Hey guys, it's me, Spencer, the content dispenser here, with some fresh new content. Actually, it's not really new content. It's more like an edit on some previous content that I made a while ago. I have come to a realization. I have had a epiphany about something that has changed what I said in my previous video, which was the who I could beat in a fight. You know, the classic Christmas characters who I could beat in a fight. So basically, in the video, the Grinch was on there, and now when I was walking back to my dorm, I thought I had this mind blowing realization, and I can't even tell you how I don't even know why it came. It was just like it just came into my head like like I'm some prophet with this information that I have to get out to the universe because it just came to me. I wasn't even thinking about the Grinch or anything, and then all of a sudden, poof, and I was like, oh my god, this changes our whole idea of that whole story. And it came from okay, the it actually what has happened is there are two Dr. Seuss um you know stories that I think are linked, and I don't know if anyone has gone about it. And I don't want to step on Matt Pat's toes here or anything, but I think this is like some film theory tier stuff right here that I think he missed out on. And that is that if you look at the story of Horton Hears a Who, okay, and then you compare it to How a Grinch Stole Christmas, okay, you look at those two. Now you've probably already realized where I'm going with this. It's the Who. The Who connect them all, okay? Because you got Whoville from the Grinch. The Grinch, goes down from his mountain with his freaking PETA dog, and then he steals all their presents and stuff. And Cindy Lou Who is only a bit more than two. She was a Who. I don't know. I don't know the rhyme. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I should rewatch that. That's a good movie. That's like some high tier. That's some high tier like Christmas slash I don't know, Dr. Seuss stories in general. I love the Grinch, but anyway, so I think it's connected to Horton Hears a Who. All right, because if in so this what I'm getting at here is that it's the same Who. Okay, and that's plural form. The plural, everyone knows the plural form of who is who. It's like deer or goose or whatever, where it's the same word. So yeah, basically the Who. If you remember from Horton Hears a Who, and I haven't actually, I only know the animated movie that was from like 10 years ago. I don't know the actual, um, I don't know like the book. That wasn't one of the books that was read to me. So yeah, basically in the movie, there's this little speck on a flower, and there's in that speck there's a town that has the I don't know. It was that town also called Whoville. I don't know. I just know that Who were on it because Horton hears a Who, so they were the Who, right? And they're on the speck, and they're so tiny, like you can't even see them. I think he does see them at some point because he hears them. Because elephants have really good hearing, so he's the only he's the only person in the world or in his jungle or whatever that could hear them because he's the only elephant. Because he killed all the other elephants or something. I don't know. Did they ever explain that? I forget. That's another theory. That's a theory for another day. Okay, we're focused on the Who, right? So why? So the Who are really small, and the speck, when it's zoomed in, the speck is like a spherical, it's like its own world, It has space for a whole world to be built on there, and we only focus on that one town. Now, my theory is that the entire Grinch universe takes place in that same speck, just like on the other side. Like if you looked on the other side of the speck, because we're talking microscopic, like subatomic, like it's so small that like it could be on like the part of the speck that's in the flower where like you might think, oh, well, they'd be crushed because the speck is in the flower, but they're so small that that force doesn't affect them because the space between the atoms, or something like that. It's a kid's book, okay? So I'm saying that the universe of the Grinch takes place in that same speck. Like just on the other side or something. So there's that theory that it's on the same speck. There's also another theory. There's a few that I'm working with. There's another one that there's another speck in that universe because we only see that one. We only see that one speck, right, from the original Who from the that Horton talks with, right? But there could be another. There could so be another flower with another speck out there, okay, that he just doesn't know about. I mean, we're only focused. The movie is on a very small scale, literally. It's just takes place in one small jungle of a world. We don't know how big the Horton Here's a Who world is. Like if it's scaled to our Earth, then there's a whole other. Can you imagine how many specks? There's like a whole. There's a near. You can't calculate how many specks. It's like the amount of atoms that's on the planet. 'Cause like the speck was like I said, it was microscopic. It was almost subatomic, the size of it. So that amount of specks, so I'm saying just one of those specks is where the Grinch movie takes place, okay? But what I want to challenge. Now I know Dr. Seuss isn't really, it still he's not writing more books, but I don't know what his son's up to. Surely there's got to be someone who can like finish the story because I am very interested in the Hooniverse, okay? And yes, I'm coining that term. It's for you for free. All I ask is that you make it like amazing, okay? You can use the Hooniverse, but you need to make it really, really good, okay? Like I want to see what's going on in those other specs. I want the Grinch and those Who's from the Whoville to interact with the Horton Hears a Who. I want a whole Crisis of Infinite Earth type situations, but happening with the Hooniverse, okay, with all these little specks, coming together, and like, I don't know, maybe like something catastrophic happens to the Earth, but they're the only ones not affected because they're so small, like the radiation doesn't affect them or something. I don't know, get creative, okay? I'm just pitching you the idea. I'm not writing this thing, okay? I'm just telling you. There's a gold mine here and they're just not mining it. But anyway, my whole point for this whole rant theory thing is that I need to edit because I said that the Grinch was like, I forgot where I put him, but he's low. I mean, he's not even a fight. I might even take him out of the list because I basically made a list. Like when I made that list, I already had in mind people who could at least put up somewhat of a fight, or at least be interesting to see a fight of. But I might just pluck the Grinch out of there because I mean he's so small. I mean you could argue it's like an Ant-Man, and not even Ant-Man because Ant-Man is strong, right? Because because science, he's able to punch you with the full force of if he was a regular sized man. But which I just realized coincidentally that doesn't happen when he goes giant. If you use that same logic, I would argue that when he's Giant Man, that he should still only have the strength of regular, Scott Lang, and he like goes to pick something up and he can't because he's not, it's not strong. Like, how come there all of a sudden the physics start to catch up with his size, and he's able to pick up giant objects and stuff, whereas when he's small, you can't step on him or anything because he's still got the mass or whatever. I forgot how they explained it, but I'm going off on a tangent that's within another tangent, so I'm just going to get back to what I was saying. Now, the Grinch would be so small, like maybe you can argue, well, I would never be able to find him, I would never be able to catch him, but who cares, okay? The point is winning the fight. The point, you guys are thinking too much into this. I'm sort of saying, like, if I already caught the Grinch, if we're in, like, a boxing ring or something, and it's like a fight to the death, like a cage match. Obviously, cage match, you could walk through the links, but the equivalent to a cage match where he can't escape like that. Like, there is no running away. Obviously, I could just step on him. I mean, look, the whole point of Horton Hears a Who is how freaking vulnerable they are, and how, like, wasn't it like the wind, like, killed everyone because like it destroyed their town or something. Like, are you kidding me? I'm more powerful than the wind. I just freaking step on him. It's ridiculous. So yeah, Grinch is not a challenge anymore, judging by my new theory that he is in fact the size of a Who. I mean, he'd be a little bit bigger than Who because if you look at the thing, he was taller than the Who's in the story, but still not tall enough that he wouldn't still be microscopic. So yeah, that's it. That was just a quick little update because I felt bad because I had that thought and I was like, there's that video up there, and I'll probably change that the description of that video. I'll put a link to this video in that description. I might pin a comment and say, hey, I've updated the list. Check the new video. Because I don't want people to watch that video and get confused and think that the Grinch is harder to fight than he is, because he's not. He's tiny. You wouldn't even know that you beat him. You would be running around trying to fight him, and you would squash him, and you wouldn't even know. Okay, so yeah, that's about it.